Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather, and on this channel I talk about books, social justice, and history. And today I want to do my first book haul of 2022. I bought a couple of books last month. I'm very excited about them. And I started to read them, and before I totally dive in and start talking about them in other videos, I wanted to do a book haul. So let's get started. So I have here 2 nonfiction and 4 fiction books. Lots of fun colors. They're so pretty. I love them. Okay, so I'll start with nonfiction first. First, I have Abolition Feminism Now with Angela Davis, Gina Dent, Erica R. Mainers, and Beth E. Ritchie. I'm really excited about this book. I've been wanting to read more and more about abolition. I read a lot of articles, and I really want to do a deeper dive into abolition. So the back of this book reads, amplifying the analysis and the theories of change generated from vibrant community-based organizing, this book traces necessary historical genealogies, key internationalist learnings, and everyday practices to grow our collective and flourishing present and futures. I'm just so excited. There are images and other resources built into this book. I'm really excited to read this and to see how I can take what I've learned from this and apply it to my personal life, my professional life. I'm just really, really excited about this. So the second book in my haul is The Country Under My Skin, a Memoir of Love and War by Gioconda. This is a memoir, an account from a revolutionary woman in Nicaragua. Let me read you the synopsis here. So born into an upper-class family in Managua, Nicaragua, Gioconda seemed like an unlikely revolutionary. After an early marriage and motherhood, however, she was introduced to the growing underground Sandinista organization and to the kind of passion that was lacking in her marriage. Belli soon found her desire to be a good wife in the traditional sense supplanted by the need to live life fully and to effect change along the way. Ironically, her lifestyle and career as an acclaimed poet provided the cover that allowed her to succeed as a rebel. From her childhood in Managua and her initial encounters with poets and revolutionaries, to car chases, meetings with Fidel Castro, sensual affairs cut short by death, exile in Mexico and Costa Rica, and an eventual new life married to an American, Belli's tale is both the story of a woman discovering her true self and of a nation grappling with its destiny. I already read this book. I love this book. I love this book so much. So what's cool about this is a lot of the revolutionaries in this book, I randomly have this one book on my shelf, and it's called Nicaragua, the Sandinista People's Revolution, Speeches by Sandinista Leaders, and so many of the people that are in this book that Gioconda was friends with, all their speeches are in this book, so this might be something that I read next. I know that's not really in the haul, but I just thought that was really cool. So we're moving on to fiction. I have Canturas by Carolina de Robertis. Is that how you say her name? My Spanish is not great. Spanish is my second language, so I'm trying. This book I've seen all over BookTube, and I can't wait to read this. I think this is going to be the book that I read next. I'm really excited about it. In case you haven't seen any videos about this book, I will read the synopsis. In defiance of the brutal military government that took power in Uruguay in the 1970s, and under which homosexuality is a dangerous transgression, 5 women miraculously find one another and together an isolated cape that they can claim as their own. Over the next 35 years, they travel back and forth from this secret sanctuary, sometimes together, sometimes in pairs, with lovers in tow or alone. Throughout it all, they will be tested repeatedly by their families, lovers, society, and one another, as they fight to live authentic lives. A groundbreaking, genre-defining work, Canturas is a dazzling portrait of queer love, community, forgotten history, and the strength of the human spirit. I've heard such great things about this book. So the next book I have is Julia Alvarez, Before We Were Free. And I've already read a Julia Alvarez book. I've read In the Time of the Butterflies. That novel is one of my favorites. So I picked up this one, and here's the synopsis. Anita de la Torre never questioned her freedom living in the Dominican Republic, but by her 12th birthday in 1960, most of her relatives have immigrated to the United States. Her Tío Tony has disappeared without a trace, and the government's secret police terrorize her remaining family because of their suspected opposition to Trujillo's brutal dictatorship. Using the strength and courage of her family, Anita must overcome her fears and fly to freedom, leaving all that she once knew behind. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about this is because I love books that have politics weaved into them. I think I've said that on every single video on my channel so far. So I'm just really excited, especially after reading The Country Under My Skin. I definitely want to keep reading more women, more revolutionary women, more women who are clever and strong and rebellious. Especially in March, because it's Women's History Month. But that is just something that I definitely want to do moving forward and really prioritize that. So super excited to read this book. And it's also very short, so I think I'll be able to get through it very quick. It's like 160 pages. So next, I've been eyeing this book for a really long time. This is Sahira in Bloom by Farah Herron. And I love the cover. It is so pretty. I love the spine. I love the light green and the pinks. I love the colors. So this one is about when 17-year-old aspiring designer Tahira John Mohammed's coveted fashion internship falls through, her parents have a plan B. Tahira will work in her aunt's boutique in the small town of Bakewell, the flower capital of Ontario. But she just can't deal with Rowan Johnson, the rude, totally obsessive garden nerd next door with frayed cutoffs and terrible shoes, not to mention his sharp jawline, smoldering eyes, and soft lips. Rowan is also just the plant boy Tahira needs to help win the Bakewell Flower Arranging Contest, an event that carries clout in New York City of all places. Tahira is about to find out what she's really made of and made for, because here in the middle of nowhere, Tahira is just beginning to bloom. This sounds like a fun summer romance. I'm excited to see how flowers play a big part in this and what that looks like on the page. And I'm just really excited to read this. I think it's going to be super fun. I think it's going to have some elements of style and fashion. I'm really looking forward to it. And then lastly, I have no idea how I came across this book. I stumbled upon it somewhere and then I lost track of it and I found it again. It is called Daughters of the Stone by Dalma Llanos Figueroa. And this is a Puerto Rican author. She was a 2010 finalist in the Penn Robert W. Bingham Prize. I can't tell you how excited I am for this book because it has themes of memory, probably some magical realism, themes of colonialism. It's just everything I want in a book is in a book. And so it says, Daughters of the Stone follows the lives of 5 generations of Afro-Puerto Rican women focusing on the legacy passed from one generation to the next. How does each generation deal with that legacy given the changing environments and cultures? How does the environment change the legacy? What happens to communication when language and culture are truncated? What legacy does a woman who owns nothing, not even her body, leave for her daughter? What happens to a storyteller when she can no longer tell her stories? Can one build for the future without coming to terms with the past? This is a novel of memory, magic, and resilience in the face of enormous obstacles. It is a novel of continuity through storytelling. It is a novel of families, ultimately all of our families, and how we survive. And I'm hoping to read this sometime in the next month or two. I don't know what else to say. I'm just so excited for this book. I'm so excited that I stumbled across it somehow, that the universe put it in my hands. I can't wait to tell you about it. Alright, so that is all I have for you with my book haul. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you aren't already, please subscribe, give this video a like, turn on the notification bell. So once again, my name is Heather. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.